Hello everyone, welcome to Citizen Concerned, where we remind you to beware of the comrades. I'm Katlego, and if you are new here, please subscribe to the channel and like, share and comment. Let's get started. There's a small group of people in South Africa that has been rotting our nation, causing us to live worse and worse lives over time. That group of people has been pushing an extremely dumb and backward idea. They have had access to our president since 1994. These people have possibly held the ANC at ransom for a long time. The thing that irks me, the thing that irritates me, the thing that drives me up the wall the most out of everything is that the ANC and this group of people asked no one for their opinion. No one asked us, the citizens, if we agreed with their agenda. No one asked us if we agreed with their mission. They keep pushing this evil, backward idea and agenda of theirs over and over, whether we as South Africans want it or not. If it was not for the fact that the ANC lost this election, this group of people would have never stopped. And since the ANC is still kind of in charge in a certain way, they will continue this path. They will keep on trying to steer things. They keep trying to run things indirectly. This group of people are the SACP, SATU, COSATU, NUMSA, NEHAWU, and a bunch of others just like them. It's the same people that have this serious hatred for capitalism, which is what pays taxes. They are the ones that are responsible for the hatred of businesses in this country, a communist agenda that seeks to undermine businesses, hence indirectly undermine the employment of South Africans. No matter what, they keep pushing this rubbish communism of theirs. If they were on the sidelines barking at a moving car, I would have been fine with it. If they were saying this nonsense in their houses, I would have been fine with it. The problem is these people have members in their ancient, backward, destructive organizations. They use the fact that they can tell their members to vote a certain way as a way to bully the ANC. The ANC keeps trying to please these people over and over again because of the power they hold on their members, the power they hold on the voting and the ballots. You see, the ANC needs these communists, but the problem is these communists have a habit of trying to push the ANC in a specific direction. The direction is further and further left, more and more communist. They are radical parties that fail to make the country better with their communist agendas influencing the ANC. They have put unions above everyone else while they claim to be doing it for the workers, the poor, and the rest of the citizens. And here is Mbalula talking about what the ANC has become.
Half of the complaints I get here in my phone from ANC members, most of those problems are about positions. SG, come and intervene here. I'm being removed as a councillor. SG, don't allow this mayor to be appointed. The best one is Lizeka, it's Mbalula. Careerism, just about positions and contestation about the resources. That's when you see that the party is mortgaged. So we need to get back to that. We need to come back from that situation.
Positions. Who doubted it? He was only saying this just a few days ago, and yet we all can see that this is exactly what it has always been about. Parties like the ANC, EFF, and MK are there for their stomachs. The same goes for COSATU and SACP leaders. All those kinds of people are all out for their stomachs. Actually, this is the main problem with most of our politicians in South Africa. There's no will to actually find solutions that work. Even when you see the work that they do, you can tell that there is no pattern here. There is no planning. Things are just done haphazardly. The ANC has simply been that. And because of that, the ANC has looters within it. People that see that there is no plan to protect resources and there is no plan to fix anything, so they come in for their own little ambitions. The rest of us will then see the effect of this when there is load shedding, water cutting, potholes, unsafe school structures, etc., etc. Now, this is the leader of the South African Communist Party. He's part of the group I was talking about. These poisonous people are the ones that have been infecting the ANC. They have destroyed the ANC and, more importantly, the country. Here, he's talking about the role he and others played to make sure that the ANC does not work with the DA.
We didn't even want, as you know, this so-called GNU. It's a coalition, in my view. GNU is it's a notion that is neither here nor there. We thought we could set up government with a minority government with forces like the EFF. And I can say this on record, you people from the media. Yes, I can say it on record. We said it as a Communist Party the day after the elections were announced. We met as the Alliance Secretariat. We said to Comrade Mbalula, and I don't want this matter to be abused. We said at this moment, the critical point is that the liberation forces must secure political power, the leadership of this transition. We said so. But we anchored this on the basis of a process we characterize as no with the neoliberal forces of the DA and no with the counter-revolutionary forces of MK Party. This was our stance, which also was accepted by the extended Politburo of the Communist Party. So we took this line as we engaged with our allies. In that process, we were then left with engaging possibly the forces of the EFF and others to set up a minority government.
Imagine, he says the liberation forces must secure power. Liberation forces. Forces against who? We are not in war. Who is this enemy that this clown is talking about? He clearly says it himself that they were intentionally working to avoid the DA and the MK Party from coming into government. Let's just look at this. He is unelected. None of the citizens voted for this person, and yet he is in the backdoor meetings with the ANC deciding the future of the ANC. He even says we were left with the option to work with the EFF. We. These are some of the most dangerous people in our country, and they are all over the place. They are not leaders of the ANC. They run organizations like the trade unions or the black business councils. Lunatics who have no idea how to make a country prosper. They are here to fight for their narrow communist agendas. The EFF, that's who this guy believed was the solution to our problems. And that is no surprise to me. They believe in the same agendas after all. The man continues to say this.
And we realize that if we leave this to other people when we've said it must happen, it will not happen. I took the initiative. I called the EFF. I had several meetings with them. So it's for the record. You will know I have meetings with them. To ask them that, guys, let's join these forces and keep out these right-wing reactionary forces out of the process. Of course, during that week, the ANC, NEC says, no, we're going with the government of national unity. We are inviting everyone. Then the EFF comes and say, no, they're not going to join that if everyone is included, particularly the DA and the EFF, I mean the Freedom Front. They even went further than us and said, no, not just, these are colonial forces.
Imagine that. After people voted, choosing whoever they wanted, this character started going around trying to create the government. Instead of the people that we elected doing the negotiations, instead of the parties that were on the ballot meeting to negotiate what to do after the elections, this communist had enough sway to say, let me talk to the EFF on behalf of who? Their selfish agendas. By what right do these communists decide? This is no different from the Guptas running the government of Zuma Mos. By what right does this man start working to try to create a government? But that is the problem. They've been doing it for Lord knows how long, talking to the leaders, ministers, and presidents of this country. That, my friend, I believe is one of the reasons we find our country so damaged. The government has not been getting advice from industry experts and subject matter experts. It's been these lunatics all along. So when the ANC says let's work together as a country, the EFF refused. They refused. And we have heard how people love to act as if the ANC sold out. But here is this EFF lover telling us now that the EFF refused.
The Chief Justice convened a meeting in Parliament. The ANC goes there. It has no revolutionary forces backing it. The ANC had to set up government. I got the EFF, guys, what are you doing? They said, no, I want to be serious. Went to the ANC, hey man, what's your problem? Why can't we be patient and engage with these forces? Because the ANC, after 1 or 2 meetings, they rejected the EFF and said, no, we can't go. The EFF don't respect us and so forth. I did not give up. The first day I went to meet Comrade Floyd is the day after I buried my brother. I lost my brother when I was at the Sandown rally. I went to see him. I said, hey man, comrade, you can't continue this way. I went to the ANC. It was back and forth, begging people to actually focus on the possible revolutionary path. It will be better to be irritated by the EFF in cabinet than to be irritated by the neoliberal forces who want to be dominant and take control of the revolution.
Imagine, he's the one trying to create government, as if this is his father's company that he's supervising. By what right? He tried and tried to make the ANC work with the EFF. For what? For their dumb revolutionary agenda. A dumb agenda that has no fruits. Nowhere on earth has that agenda ever been successful, but that is a mindset and agenda he still chooses to hold on to and promote. And for some reason, it is clear he has always been in the rooms where decisions for our country are being made. And then we are lied to that white monopoly capital has been in charge all along. He even says the ANC was supposed to be patient to work with the EFF. But if you remember, we made a video regarding this issue. In case you didn't watch that video or if you forgot, here's a reminder of Fikile Mbalula talking about how things went with the EFF.
Because the EFF are the people we regard as close to us in the left. We didn't go to the DA and ask them to govern. We didn't. I went to Julia's party, EFF, and asked them. And then he said, no, we can't govern with you. You are corrupt. I did, because I thought this is where we are. He doesn't define himself on the right. And ANC people, some of them said, you are not talking enough with the EFF. EFF gave us 10 commandments to answer. I've never had such a difficult homework, even in my school days. You know, writing a homework and all of that, and then send it back to Floyd. And then he marks red, all of it. I said, no.
And it makes sense, right? Clearly we know it is true because this guy is saying the very same thing. But when they come to the public, they don't like telling it as it is. In another clip, Mbalula exposes more of the EFF big boss language when they were engaged in negotiations with the EFF. Take a look at this.
EFF, in one of our engagements with them, they said we are a dying party. We are better off to die in their hands than anyone else. That's what they said to us. So, and they said they wanted us removed surgically everywhere else. But they failed in relation to that. And to us, everyone is the same.
Imagine that. The EFF was probably sure to the core of their core that the ANC would not dare work with the DA or the MK party. In their heads, I'm sure they were primed by this communist to squeeze for the most vital ministries they could get. So to all the people who act like the ANC was forced to do this by the so-called white monopoly capital, the boogeyman of our nightmares, take note. The EFF did this to themselves. And I'm honestly grateful that they did. This shows how close we came to this country going into the hands of the so-called revolutionaries in Gucci, the anti-bourgeois who live like the bourgeoisie. I am grateful.
I'm not the leader of the EFF, but I went to see them, and I want to appreciate that they respected my engagement. I know them. I gave Floyd his first job. He was the leader of the Young Communist League. Yes, not that he has to pay back anything. Yes, but we have a line. I can talk to him. Nothing stops me from talking to him. So we have an engagement. And Dr. Ndlozi, we had engagement with all of them. We agreed, guys, this is now the new strategy going forward. But some of the comrades in the ANC, particularly this neoliberal faction, was too impatient. They did not want to engage with them. They did not even want to offer them something serious. And yet they went on to offer these reactionary forces, anti-revolutionary forces, colonial forces, so much power.
Something serious. I wonder what he wanted the EFF to be offered. Guys, I am so happy that we are where we are now. We really were very close to the loonies taking over this country. And then he complains about giving the parties in the GNU so much power. What were they supposed to get? So the EFF was supposed to get something serious, but the DA can't get something serious. The EFF is less than half the size of the DA, but the EFF should get something serious and not the DA. Listen to him whining and crying about it.
We lost power, Maqabane. You know, one comrade even said to me, yeah, the way we have lost power, now I don't know what it's from the trade union deputy president of NEAU. He says, hey, I don't know this time, because sometimes even when we don't agree with these people, we could call them. Uzomenza anu Minister of Public Administration. Ngailwa le position ukuthi no, whatever happens, this must remain in the movement. Yambili. Not without a fight, we fought.
He says the president of NEHAWU said they could call the ministers anytime. Is that not something we ought to be concerned about? Is it appropriate for union leaders to have such influence on the government? Again, I ask, who voted for these people? Who? So much access to politicians to push their communist agendas. We need leadership that works with facts on the ground, not these revolutionary forces mumbo jumbo. And yes, I said it. It is mumbo jumbo. You heard him, right? He fought to make sure the DA would not get the Ministry of Public Works. Him. Who is he? An unelected loudmouth. Who does he represent? Which worker? I'm a worker and I do not identify with him. Do you see the kinds of people we have in this country? People talking to ministers, people talking to our presidents. Here is a response I have for him, courtesy of Fikile Mbalula again. All these clips happened just a few days ago, by the way. It's as if Fikile is talking to this solid communist loony. You all know how the people complained regarding each and every ministry that the ANC was proposing to give to the DA. Well, here is Fikile Mbalula talking about that.
We had to give people who came into this GNU and the rest of South Africa genuine ministries. We gave the PAC land reform. It's not a favor. We know they will do well in relation to that, because others thought that we're just being woodwinked, ANC tactics and all of that, but they will still go and want to have it on their own. We didn't. We gave DA Public Works, agriculture, we gave good tourism.
Definitely. The ANC did not win the election. That is what these communist fools keep forgetting. Before he started vomiting this nonsense, he said this.
Comrade Nyiko comes to me, he says, after finishing this, can you please share your notes? We want to share with the media. I said, gosh, I didn't know there's media invited. So I'll sanitize my notes. Yes, I'll try. I'll speak in a sanitized form, sanitize my notes, make it available possibly tomorrow so it can be distributed. I had intended that it's going to be distributed, but I arrived here, I found that there's media. I know that they are going to source it nonetheless. So I have to sanitize it. I'm married to a journalist.
So if the rubbish he was saying is a sanitized version of his speech, my fellow citizens, I wonder what rubbish comes out of these mouths when the cameras are not looking. These are the people that have been running South Africa in the background, guys. This bunch of men that still print pictures of Lenin and Karl Marx. Lenin and Karl Marx. Seriously. As concerned citizens, we need to be on a mission to create a movement. Strong movements of waking people up to the existence and the dangers of these kinds of organizations, these kinds of fools. These kinds of organizations are the source of many of our problems in South Africa. We need to fight these kinds of ideals. And without us actively seeking solutions to these problems, we will never achieve that one and united country. Let's fight for information to reach our people. I'm still trying to come up with a plan for those kinds of initiatives. Please email me if you have suggestions. The country needs to be won back, guys, and we need to do it. We can do it. It is up to us. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please like and share the video link with other citizens. I'm Katlego. This is Citizen Concerned. And until next time, beware of the comrades.